Saydnaya Prison, located 30 kilometers north of Damascus, is one of the most notorious detention centers in the world. It stands as a grim testament to decades of authoritarian rule in Syria, symbolizing the oppressive regime's iron grip on its people. Built in 1987 under the rule of Hafez al-Assad, it was initially intended to house a variety of criminals, from petty thieves to political dissidents. The prison's architecture, a sprawling complex of concrete walls and watchtowers, reflects its purpose: to isolate and confine. The design itself is meant to instill fear and maintain control. Saydnaya's early years were shrouded in secrecy, with little information emerging about conditions within its walls. The lack of transparency only added to its ominous reputation. However, allegations of torture and mistreatment began to surface, hinting at the horrors that would later define the prison. These allegations painted a picture of a place where human rights were systematically violated and where suffering was a daily reality for many. The outbreak of the Syrian civil war in 2011 marked a significant turning point for the town of Saydnaya. What was once a relatively quiet place suddenly found itself at the heart of a brutal conflict. The Syrian government, facing widespread protests and an armed rebellion, increasingly relied on brutal and oppressive tactics to crush any form of dissent. The streets were filled with chaos and fear. Saydnaya Prison became a central tool in this widespread repression, its walls echoing with the cries of those detained. Thousands of peaceful protesters, activists, and suspected opponents of the regime were swept up in mass arrests. Many of them disappeared into the prison's depths, never to be seen again. The conflict transformed Saydnaya from a high-security penitentiary into a symbol of state-sanctioned terror and brutality. Its name became synonymous with fear. The mere mention of Saydnaya struck fear and dread into the hearts of many, its ominous reputation spreading far and wide. Testimonies from survivors of Saydnaya paint a harrowing picture of life inside the prison, a brutal realm where torture is commonplace and survival is a daily struggle. Prisoners describe being crammed into overcrowded cells, often lacking basic necessities like food, water, and sanitation. Disease is rampant, and medical care is virtually non-existent. Guards subject detainees to systematic torture, including beatings, electric shocks, and sexual assault. The prison operates on a culture of fear and silence, where any perceived infraction can result in death. The atrocities committed at Saydnaya have not gone unnoticed by the international community. The global outcry has been loud and persistent, with people from all walks of life demanding justice and accountability. Human rights organizations, including Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch, have documented the systematic abuse and killings within the prison. These organizations have tirelessly worked to bring these heinous acts to light, compiling detailed reports and testimonies from survivors and witnesses. Satellite imagery analysis has provided further evidence of mass graves near the facility, suggesting a deliberate effort to conceal the regime's crimes. Experts have meticulously examined these images, revealing the extent of the atrocities and the attempts to hide them from the world. The United Nations has condemned the Syrian government for its actions at Saydnaya, calling for independent investigations and accountability for those responsible. The UN's stance has been clear and unwavering, urging the international community to take decisive action. Despite mounting international pressure, the Syrian government continues to deny any wrongdoing, refusing access to independent observers. Their stance remains defiant, even as evidence continues to mount against them, highlighting the urgent need for global intervention and justice.